Good morning, Senisha. I'll just give you a cue when to start as soon as we get all our industry speakers in. Thanks.
Not a problem. If the rest of the colleagues can please mute your mics, that'll be good.
Senisha, you may begin.
Thank you, Anita. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Technology Innovation Agency's Grassroots Innovation Program, Product Launch. Greetings to all our guests, colleagues, and audience joining the proceedings via live stream today. I'm really thrilled to be with all of you this morning. Our focus is really on 5 women innovators as we showcase and celebrate excellence in innovations by women innovators in our beautiful country, South Africa. A special welcome to the Deputy Director General of the Socio-Economic Innovation Partnerships from the Department of Science and Innovation, the TIA board members, our TIA acting CEO, our young innovators, our industry partners, as well as all other members of the TIA leadership team and media representatives present today. As we all know, this is an online event, so let's make the event trend today. Please tag #GrassrootsInnovator, all one word, on all social media platforms with the hashtag. TIA would like to issue a special challenge to you today. For the person who posts the most tweets and photos about the product launch, at the end of the event, they will receive a hamper with TIA branded merchandise. And it's an absolutely amazing pack. To promote the uptake of innovation products to the market, TIA has chosen 5 women innovators with market-ready products to launch during Women's Month. Oh, and what an impressive and excellent way to close Women's Month. Before we start the proceedings, let's take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the house rules. Please pay attention to your mute and unmute button. Just a reminder that we should continue to observe all COVID-19 regulations. Always wear your face mask in public spaces and maintain social distancing and sanitize as often as you possibly can. Within the TIA's portfolio, there are remarkable women investees who have risen against all odds to develop some exciting innovations. Over the past years, more and more women have been making a massive contribution to our economy through innovation and entrepreneurship. But we hardly ever hear about them. These women make a great contribution towards growing the economy and building a better South Africa through a wide range of technologies that address both local, continental, and international market needs. Women play an important role in transforming the economy, improving the quality of lives of all South Africans, and making South Africa grow globally and making us more competitive. To honor and celebrate women who are making impact through innovation, TIA celebrates women this month in the theme Celebrating Women of Impact. For 11 years, TIA, an entity of the Department of Science and Innovation, has been guided by the mandate, which really bridge innovation, the innovation chasm between research and development from higher education institutes, science councils, public entities, the private sector, and commercialization. This milestone comes as the world faces the biggest pandemic in the century, COVID-19. TIA has managed to step up on the plate and continue to support government in creating new enterprises through its various programs. Enough from me right now. I now would like to hand over to our acting CEO, Mr. Patrick Krappi, who is going to deliver the welcoming address. But before I hand over to him, I would really like to remind you why he is the driver of this organization. Patrick Krappi has been appointed in the position in June of 2020. His last venture involved the establishment of the Technology Innovation Agency, known as TIA, in 2019. He facilitated the merger of 7 business entities under the Department of Science and Innovation. Since then, he has served on various senior management and executive roles and currently serves as the acting CEO of TIA. He is really passionate about developing the National System of Innovations ecosystem, focusing on international partnerships, local partnerships, and really developing the youth of South Africa. I would now like to hand over to Patrick. Welcome, CEO.
Thanks very much, Sanisha and Madam Program Director. It's a pleasure to be here today, colleagues. For me, when we talk grassroots innovation, my heart pumps with excitement and fulfillment. It's a program that I hold very dear to my heart, and I'm pleased to be part of the proceedings this morning. You did mention already in your intro that we are in our midst are joined by the DDG, Mr. Imran Patel, our Deputy Director General for Socio-Economic Innovation Partnerships. And special welcome to you, Mr. Patel. And we have in our midst as well, Mr. Sepa Musia, who is the custodian also of the program from the Department of Science and Innovation. And these are partners that we work very closely with, who have just made sure that we get some measure of assistance to launch the program into the market. And I think over the last 2 years or so since we started the program, it's been doing quite well under their custodianship and guidance. So for my part, colleagues, it's just to welcome everybody who has joined us today. All our esteemed guests from industry, government representatives, our funding partners, our development partners, our colleagues from the media who are here as well joining us, and our funding community. So we have a couple of our innovators who are joining us today. And really the question for me is, what is this event about? But before I get there, let me give special welcome to them because they are the reason why we are here. There's Anna Marie with a beautiful smile, and welcome, Anna Marie. I see Poncho on the screen is also smiling. Poncho, we were debating with Poncho earlier today about her age. We gave her credit and she took it away. So it is what it is, that's fine. Ntombizodwa, we have Mandisa and Nomatlubi. I see Mandisa's also on the screen. Welcome, guys. You are the people who make TIA come out in the market looking like, as an organization, we have a sense of purpose. And many people, talk about TIA as an organization that will be coming with these big blockbuster technologies. But for a moment, it's always just good to look at different solutions that TIA is able to support, where many of you just produce solutions that respond to immediate societal challenges. And when I read about the solutions that you produced, it strikes the note with me. It really strikes the note. And in saying that, I heard Senisha, you were saying that whoever does the most tweets will get a TIA branded bag. I want to challenge you because you challenged other people. Ntombizodwa, we have from Ntombizodwa Gabrielle a bag with a solution that will help us to trace our children. I don't know if it shouldn't be the bag that we give people, and it must be branded Gabrielle. So I'm challenging you with that. If you have your bags already branded in TIA, those who win may experience some delays because we will be changing course and making sure that whoever wins gets a Gabrielle branded bag. So that's my offer to you. But why are we here today, colleagues? Show you that we have a range of instruments outside of the grassroots innovation. Not outside really, but in addition to the grassroots innovation program, which are complementary instruments that you should access and continue knocking our door for more support as you make strides to get into the market around this. If you need to develop more products because you have shown us the capacity and the capability that you have, we will remain available to keep giving you the support. So I'm inviting all of our partners to please participate in this session and take interest in your product, provide advice, and sometimes it's less about just getting things going into the market. The feedback that you'll be getting from some of the panelists, I think you must embrace it and go away to try and respond to some of the issues that they raise, because it's only through these platforms that you will get feedback, not on a one-on-one basis, but from a collective of highly experienced industry, highly experienced funders who are able to pick on small little things that you need to rectify or to improve on as you get. So I think use this platform to the maximum. And from my side, I wish you all the best, and I hope that everybody will make their inputs, and I'll stay on the line to see the proceedings. I hope everybody enjoys the day. Thanks very much. Thanks, Program Director.
Thank you so much, Mr. Krapi, and for the welcome, for highlighting the important role that TIA continues to play in the GIP program. I think for us, it's very important as South Africa innovation and the technology landscape that we are able to diffuse these technologies. I am now going to call upon our DDG of Socioeconomic Innovation Partnerships from the Department of Science and Innovation, Mr. Imran Patel, to tell us more about the Grassroots Innovation Program. Imran is currently a Deputy Director General and represents the Department on the Social and Economic Cluster of Government. He's the current member of the board of the Water Research Commission, Trade and Industry Policy Strategies, TIPS, and a past board member of MINTEC and SAOAL. At the DSI, he is responsible for strategically driving a portfolio of investments and policies that advance the socio-economic development priorities of government through science, technology, and innovation interventions. Particular areas of focus includes science and technology for sustainable development, R&D-led industrial development, environmental technologies, and the next industrial revolution. Over to you, Mr. Patel. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to everyone, and thanks, Sanisha. And thanks to Patrick. I'm not going to say much because I think Patrick has highlighted what needs to be said. I want to thank and firstly to appreciate the work that TIA has done in working very closely with us to really institutionalize and grow the Grassroots Innovation Program as one of a series of instruments, like Patrick had mentioned, that's aimed at enhancing our ability to use innovation for social and economic development. With our history, it's very important that whatever instruments we put in place not only helps us with the innovation agenda, but very importantly, it also helps us in dealing with the transformation agenda in all its dimensions. We are working with our entities and ourselves to really think through how we can, as we move on in the next decade or so, become a lot more purposeful and scale up some of our transformation efforts. I have no hesitation in indicating that the Grassroots Innovation Program would stand up there as an instrument that has been implemented in a way that really helps us with both our social and economic development objectives and our transformation objectives. Today's presentation is testimony to that, the focus on young people, on women specifically, etc. So I think this is a great opportunity that we need to grow, and it's very important that we also don't just praise ourselves for introducing this. All of these efforts that we put in place can be improved, can be further enhanced, can be tweaked in a way that improves. So in listening to your stories and also in your feedback, we would want to look at how we learn from those, because with the kind of unemployment challenges and economic and social development challenges that we require, we really need programs that can scale effectively. So I really want to, as a second thanks, to thank the industry partners who have joined us from the SMME Forum, from Alan Gray, etc., because it's only through this partnership, which is another important theme in our white paper for science and technology, would we be able to have a real and meaningful chance of being able to deal with the kind of challenges that we confront. So that partnership and feedback and how we work together, support where we can, but then to link up with others is very important. So we really look forward to not only your insights to this, to the 5 innovators we'll be presenting today, but to look at what can we learn in terms of scaling up the project. I really would want to be able to be part of an event in 10 years' time where we can look back and say this Grassroots Innovation Program, with its humble beginnings, have impacted on tens of thousands of people and not the current hundreds that we're doing. Very important instrument, but we need to look at ways of scaling. And the only way we're going to achieve the scaling is through the kind of partnerships that we need to do. And then the final comment I want to make was prompted by what Patrick mentioned about us being at the end of Women's Month and the kind of second big virus that we're dealing with, which is gender-based violence. Very important. It's not only about products, I think, Patrick. I've increasingly adopted a more social science background. It's really about creating instruments that empower people, that demonstrates a changing society in a way. So when people talk about gender-based violence, if you look at the comprehensive strategy on gender-based violence, core to that strategy is economic empowerment of women. And that's part of what we need to be focusing on. And I'm glad to say that the Grassroots Innovation Program in that regard is already making a contribution to gender-based violence. We need to change the power relations between men and women, etc. And that's equally important. So what's important is yes, there might be products that support, but it's about your stories, about your opportunities, about the struggles that you've engaged on and how you overcome those struggles so that it can give hope and allow other young people, other women to be able to see that there's a different way of doing it. And then for us to jointly accept as, particularly as men, speaking to men, not as a challenge, but as an important part of building the kind of inclusive society that we need to do. There's a place for everyone. We need to see it in there. I've been recently watching a series around I'm a bit fascinated, and my kids get worried about criminal minds in a sense. But there was a change in the 70s when they looked at kind of people who really serial killers that have this intense hatred to women. It's part of that. It's that fear, that challenge. And one of the things they're picking up is that men are feeling very, very threatened. And there's no need to feel threatened. It's part of a journey that we need to go through. So I think there's a lot of learnings. It's not just about a technology and an innovation. It's about innovation in our societal relations that's going to help us with the kind of scourge that we're facing of gender-based violence, social and economic development, etc. So on those brief comments, I look forward to kind of picking up on some of the innovations, and as I highlighted, the three key messages that we were trying to highlight in the white paper for science, technology, and innovation is the need for transformation, to be inclusive, and to strengthen partnerships. And I think today's event is a good indication of how those three things are being brought together in ways that help us take things forward. So good luck with the rest of the program, and we look forward to this Grassroots Innovation Program growing from strength to strength. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patel. I think through the multi-tiered support GIP program, it really takes innovators outside the formal system of innovation, from proof of concept to the market. As you'll all see this morning, there's a special focus on women in celebrating women and impact in this year's Women's Month. The overarching theme that has been TIA supporting women in innovation, growing the economy, and building a better South Africa. Today's event is all about showcasing and profiling 5 exciting projects and innovations developed by these extraordinary women, funded by TIA through the Grassroots Innovation Program at the Department of Science and Innovation. We have reached that part of the program that we all have been waiting for the launch of the innovation products. Before we start, please take a note of the following. We are going to hand over to the innovators to present their products and innovations, and this will be followed by a response from an industry partner. I will read out the name of the innovator. The innovator will then tell us about their innovation. If there are any comments or questions, please post them in the chat box. Media inquiries must please be directed to vusi.langa@tia.org.za. Vusi is head of Marcoms at the Technology Innovation Agency. Or you could even contact Kagiso, which is KAGISO.ntanga@tia.org.za. Business-to-business meetings can really be directed to Cynthia, with Cynthia, cynthia.sitole, SITHOLE, @tia.org.za. We are going to announce the first 3 innovators. This will be followed by a short break, after which we will resume with the next innovators. Now, the reason why we're all here this morning is really to shine the light on our 5 innovators who have each been given 15 minutes to tell you more about their innovations. I'd really like to hear from our first innovator this morning, who is Mandisa Mapelweni, who then will present to us. A little bit about Mandisa. She's from Walkerville, Gauteng. She is a holistic wellness practitioner specializing in reconstructive bodywork therapy, indigenous herbalism, as well as the wellness system. Her project name is Honeypot. Honeypot is derived from an application of indigenous knowledge. Honeypot, especially, it's in a soap from personal care, hair care, and home care products, are made from indigenous South African botanicals, some of which are cultivated ourselves. Honeypot products are 100% natural, non-toxic, mid-fragrance, handcrafted, and environmentally friendly. Much effort is put not only on ethical sourcing of raw materials, but also on the sustainable packaging of this product. Mandisa, I would now like to hand over to you.
This is your presentation, isn't it?
Okay.
Then you can talk through your presentation.
Okay, super. Thank you. Thank you, Sanisha. I was just loading my presentation there, and I do hope that the audio is on point. Okay.
Perfectly fine, Mandisa. You can go for it.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Mandisa Mbalweni, as Anisha has already introduced me. Basically, I'm a holistic wellness practitioner specializing in reconstruction bodywork therapy. And I'm also an African indigenous herbalist, a counselor, a life transformation coach, again, using indigenous-based wellness solutions. In essence, I help people with physical and muscular skeletal conditions, with mental wellness issues, and obviously life transformational issues. I'm the founder and the director of Honeypot Beauty and Wellness, and we offer wellness services. We also conduct workshops for individuals, for groups and corporates on natural wellness, and again on indigenous-based wellness solutions. What we also do is we cultivate indigenous botanicals, and then we process them into skincare products and health supplements. Now, the project that brought us in contact with Tia was our soaps and supporting products that we make. We've been making artisanal soaps and products for the past 6 years and selling them at artisanal markets. We've sold them at a spa that I ran at some point and at my practice, and also to a small group of very dedicated clients that we have built up over the years. So our products are mainly for personal care, for hair care, and we also do other products as well for home care, and that the application can also be in industrial applications. So we approached the Technology Innovation Agency because we really wanted to grow the product side of the business, because we could see its growth potential. And the mission really was to develop our Honeypot products into a commercially ready status. Now, much has been achieved with this relationship, I believe. Through the grassroots innovation program, we've been able to develop an e-commerce website where we obviously intend to sell our products and other products also that support wellness, and in particular natural wellness, and that would include literature on that subject as well. And the site also aims to empower people with IKS-based knowledge and tools to really enhance their wellness quotient. With this relationship, again, we've been able to develop our products to a market-ready status, which we are now very confident of. We have been able to receive capacitation as well in terms of training to improve our formulation skills and our lab management skills as well, because we'd like to conduct our business as professionally as possible. And very important, we've been able to conduct focus market group studies on the market to really hear what the market is saying about our products, whether we really are ready for the market. Now, why did we choose this very highly contested market? Because we ourselves have issues with skin. I've had skincare issues for most of my life, and that's what really led me to starting my own, creating my own products. So there's a number of issues that people out there are facing. Our shelves are filled with many products, too many possibly, and with very many claims, and people are becoming really fatigued. They're untrusting of what's out there and losing interest. I mean, people are deciding to go as basic as possible. And meanwhile, people really have a real need for skincare solutions. We live in highly stressful times. People have got skincare conditions which they need solutions for, but because our industry is really focused on, making money as opposed to solving problems, whatever is out there seldom actually addresses problems. I'm not saying that there are not very good products out there. I'm just saying that a lot of it is really claims. And another thing is that, people are often prompted to change who they are because the beauty market really makes them feel ugly. It doesn't look at enhancing what people have. It looks at changing them to, meet a particular ideal. And then there's the cost of beauty. For those with limited bargaining power, the price of products can be really high, and this opens up a space for illegal and damaging products that are sold informally, that are, at times even sold in shops and so on. But I think the biggest cost of all is the cost to the environment. The beauty market is probably one of the largest polluters of our environment. So in short, the honeypot approach to creating products is that we basically make no claims. What we are saying to the market is that we are herbalists, we work with herbs, and we trust the healing power of herbs. And we are not making claims about herbs that, they are miraculous, they're what. We simply, craft them in the old way that a healer would craft a product. And we're giving it to the market to say, hey, trust this and see what happens. And what I've realized is that really a lot of the products that we find do not embrace that kind of system of creating products. Secondly, we think primarily like healers, and we use indigenous knowledge systems, and we want that knowledge. We want products. We want to start seeing products that actually use that knowledge and puts them onto our shelves so that we have access to them. Because many of us, we actually use indigenous products, but we are not seeing them in the mainstream commercial market. And I think a lot of people would be really happy to actually start seeing those kinds of products. We also want to see beauty products that affirm people, that affirm their creativity, their knowledge, and most importantly, the environment, because the ingredients and everything else that we use to craft our products come from the environment. We need to really start taking care of it. We want also beauty products that are affordable, to find ways to make people access good quality natural product. And hence we grow our herbal inputs, and we also harvest them ourselves, or we purchase from other growers, and we would like to start encouraging more people to grow herbs, because currently what is happening in terms of harvesting of herbs is really destructive to the environment, and we're losing a lot of species that are very useful medicinally. So we need to start having people to start growing those herbs. So in essence, we actually view our product element of the business as beneficiating really the botanicals that we are growing. So we look at ourselves as a farming business, and now diversifying into this product element of the business. So and lastly, we want to see a beauty industry that runs beyond, the superficials. So we want to see us also wanting Mother Nature to be beautiful. So becoming more eco-sensitive and mindful in terms of what we are doing to the environment. So our solution basically is that we get down to basics. We are 100% natural and herbal based. And also we are 100% indigenous to Africa. So we use indigenous botanicals. And very importantly, we are safe and simple. And that is where the science comes in, the science of manufacturing these products in a safe, tested, measured, and systematic manner. And our solution is really just soap and a herbal ointment, and that's how we look at it. You use soap, you then come up with an ointment. So from the sponsorship that we got from TIA, we were able to really come up with a range of about 33 products, and this we derived from the 15 products that we initially started from. And our products are really are helpful for hair care, for face care, body care, hand care, food care, beard care, and so on. And we're still really developing the range. So this is what we have started off with. This is also the new branding that we've been able to develop through TIA. We are still working on the look in terms of packaging. This is very generic bottles that we have used here, but this is the initial packaging. There is more really that needs to be done on it. Okay, so the benefits. So our products are full herb. They are low processed, meaning that we do not over process things. We want whatever ingredients that we put there to be as close to what they were, as close to their natural state as they are, and their energy balance. So we use a number of herbs instead of just one active botanical. And then our formulation and production process is really guided by the principles of African indigenous herbalism. We use carefully selected herbs for each product, along with a variety of seed oils and highly nutritious healing tallow from beef range beef. We also use products from beeswax and honey as well. However, we are pro-choice, and we do have a range of product that is strictly vegan to cater for our vegan audience. All our products have been developed with guidance from users, so we didn't just decide this is what we want. We developed a product, we took it out to our market and said, test this, how is it? And they either liked it or didn't like it. If they liked it, we tried to improve them. If they didn't like it, we either discarded it completely or we tried to improve it. So our products are handcrafted. They are not tested on animals, and they are environmentally conscious. And one other thing, we also go for a low scent kind of product. We don't want things that are overly perfumed that can disrupt, people's sinuses and so on. So we don't like anything that is irritating. We aspire to only use ethically sourced raw materials and packaging. And as such, we want to grow most of the herbs that we use and to support other local ethical growers as well. We develop simple products as well that can be packaged simply without requiring very complex packaging. What we are also doing is that we developed the range, and then when we started looking at packaging, we realized, oh, there's a problem here because we couldn't just, use any old packaging. We needed to use packaging that actually we would be proud of. And so we are developing a range of biodegradable packaging solutions for our products. And this packaging, we intend using bio-waste and locally developed biodegradable technology. And we hope to develop, obviously, this into a separate specialty wing of the business, because if we're going to be putting so much effort in developing this package, we might as well, create a business out of it. So in terms of our progress, currently we are working on completing our e-store and packaging. We are also will be able to start active selling in mid-October, because we're still working on that. There's a couple of other things that we really are just working on currently. Our website is live, but again, it's there's quite a lot that still needs to be done on it. But you can go out and check it out on, even though it's not complete, it is live. It's www.honeypot.co.za. Moving forward, we'll be concentrating on developing our biodegradable packaging. We still want to conduct further toxicology tests on our products to ensure, to give our clients, peace of mind, so that they know that whatever it is they're getting from us is really quite truly safe. We are looking at getting proper production facilities that are compliant with industry norms, and we are seeking further business capacitation in order to really structure the business and move towards the right direction. And obviously, we'll be looking at seeking growth funding so that we can scale up the business. In conclusion, Now, as a holistic wellness company specializing in indigenous knowledge systems and solutions that are based on that, we obviously recognize the need to look at the past in order to move forward. It's a philosophy that inspires us, and it is a philosophy that has certainly inspired our product range. And we would like to thank Tia for giving us a chance to really share our low-tech ideas in this high-tech platform of theirs. And yeah, I think it's a great example really of collaboration between different mindsets, where Tia is very high-tech in most cases. We are really, we take a very low-tech approach to things. I can only hope that, moving forward, there will be more efforts from institutions like TIA to support IKS-based technologies and projects, because there is much benefit that we can derive from them in our modern societies. So thank you very much to TIA. I am so grateful that we have made it thus far, and I'm really looking forward to the future, and I hope that you will be with us moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mandisa. Future is very because we have bright on board. And definitely in terms of the Department of Science and Innovation in TIA, there's a strong focus on IKS as part of the new decadal plan. So we're looking forward to working with you going forward. And now I'd like to hand over to one of our partners that have been with us for a while from the Black Business Council, Yongama, as an industry partner. I'd like to hear from you if you could share some insights on the product that Mandisa has just presented to us.
Thank you so much, Sanisha. Sis Mandisa, this is an incredible product offering that you've shared with us. I think you are in a fantastic market opportunity for homeopathic, organic, natural, and I assumed it is focused on Black skin, which is quite a huge market opportunity in itself. I love the fact that you've got already 33 products that you have out that you want to get to the market. It's a great assortment. It's a good, strong way of getting into the market. Though you didn't share your price point, which is an incredibly important thing, you did indicate that it is more affordable than what is currently in the market. If we are to understand how the demographics of our market are, it's important that we have price points that are approachable, that can be accessible to a greater proportion of the population in order for you to get the mass market segment that you are trying to penetrate. Now, I would say from perspective of advice, maybe look at your marketing strategy as well as your route to market strategy. Route to market specifically looking at traditional retail. These are the Clicks, the ShopRites, and all of those guys. Then you have a lot of township retail, which would be the spaza shops and other township stores that you can get access to. And thirdly, look at beauty shops, because your products do sit very well and as a strategic partner to them. You also indicated that you are looking to set up your own e-commerce platform. I encourage this, but above that, I would say look at partnerships with existing platforms. I won't name names here, but if you ever did wonder what platforms that you can approach for such a product, please do get in touch with me through the team at the Grassroots Innovation Program, and I can definitely give you a huge breakdown of that. But it would also give you access to a greater audience that you might not have at this juncture with your product, because you do not yet have visibility in the market as what they do. So the part of the biodegradable packaging, I fully support that, but I would say rather just focus on the next 36 months on getting the product to market, getting it product recognition in the market, secure a stake before starting to go and delve more into packaging and other business aspects of the whole organization. From what you've explained, it's quite a big organization. I counted farming, processing and production, and now you want to look into packaging, and possibly there's a variation of distribution. Those are really very big businesses in themselves as units, but also as together, it's quite a huge conglomerate. So be careful how your growth strategy is around that. But otherwise, I think this is a fantastic thing. And as soon as you have your beard oil in the market, please do let me know. I would gladly want to use yours. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yongama. I think Yongama has been working with us for a while, and insights are definitely insightful, Yongama. I would now like to hand over to our second innovator, who is Ntombi Zodwa Kapeye. She's from Centurion, Gauteng. She has a BA in Social Sciences from the University of...
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
So do you have anything for what is sinus and to help with sinuses?
What is sinus and anti-sinus?
Mandisa, thank you so much for muting your mic. Okay, so our next innovator, Ntombi Zodwa Kapeye from Centurion. She has a BA in Social Sciences from the University of Fort Hare. The prevalence of human abduction and trafficking, kidnapping and abduction of children inspired her to develop the Gabriel innovation. Over to you, Ntombi.
Hi, and good morning to everyone. Thank you for the opportunity.
Ntombi, you can go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Perfectly fine.
Hello?
I can hear you.
All right.
And your presentation is
on. Okay. My name is Ntombi Zodwa Kapeye. I am founder and CEO of Gabriel. The idea came about through an extensive international traveling. And as a mother, I would worry about my children's safety when I'm away. So I thought of an idea of being able to track them should anything happen to them and I'm away. So back then, that was in 2001, I thought of an invisible chip that I will be able to track them every time and no one will be able to see the chip. Fast forward to 2018, I got some help from Propeller, which is an NMU incubation for innovators in Port Elizabeth. So they helped me basically with the development of the I discovered TIA in 2019, and TIA has helped me a lot because when I started, my product was very basic.
Ntombi?
And I wasn't,
Ntombi,
hello?
Can I ask you to maybe switch off your camera so that the clarity would be better?
Okay, I tried. Just give me a second. I thought my camera is on. I don't know what happened. Just a second.
Yes, if you can switch it off, your bandwidth will be better. Can you see the camera button next to the mute button on the left?
Yes. I did switch it on. I'm not sure why it's not.
Switch it off so that your bandwidth would be better. Actually, I want you to switch it off.
Oh, I want to switch it off.
Yeah, so that we can hear you clearer.
Is it on now?
It's on now.
Okay. Is that fine?
Yes, and we can hear you clearer.
It's clearer now. All right.
Perfect. You can continue.
All right. So Tia helped me grow the product into a more presentable product. For example, when I approached Tia, it was a very basic idea that I had and a very basic tracker that I wasn't sure how to package it. So Tia helped me with the development of the technical side of my device, such that it is ready, it's compliant with the industry requirements. And then in addition, Tia doesn't have limitations, for example, in terms of age or gender or race or anything. So they were very open to all sorts of ideas. Then I also managed to receive help from Black Umbrellas in 2021. Black Umbrellas is helping me with office space and mentorship and coaching. The problem that my product is trying to resolve is the prevalence of human trafficking and children abduction and kidnapping of children, and generally children going missing. For example, according to Missing Children South Africa, a child goes missing in South Africa every 5 hours. 77% of these children are recovered. However, unfortunately, 23% is usually not recovered, and these are only reported cases. There are still those cases that are unknown. And unfortunately, South Africa is a source of these unfortunate situations. They are also a transit because some children get transited through South Africa to their destinations. And then South Africa, again, is a transit destination. So it puts us in a very bad situation. The solution that I came out with is a affordable and accessible technology that will enable parents, children, guardians to monitor and track their children's whereabouts at all times. I had to abandon the chip because of human rights infringement, and also what happens when my children grow up or other children grow up. They will always have this chip and probably they won't want to be tracked all the time when they get older. Then I came up with a mobile tracking device that can be used as a backpack or a keychain smaller bag to enable parents, guardians, and family members to locate the individuals in case they are individual children, in case they go missing. The two products that I have currently is a backpack and a keychain bag. The keychain bag, if you look at the two products, there's a backpack and a keychain bag. The keychain bag, we came up with the idea of the keychain bag through the research that we've been doing with TIA. We realized that some people have got a number of bags, so they would like to have a smaller tracking device. They can be able, that's interchangeable, that can be put in any form of bag that they want to. So the keychain bag goes for 150, and the backpack goes for 399 rands. And the features for the bags are, if you look at the backpack on the right-hand side, there are two white stickers. The one sticker at the bottom is the charging port, and the sticker at the top, it's where maybe you would call the engine of the device. That is where everything happens. There's an SOS button that is hidden there. There's an on and off button that is also hidden in that same space. The SOS button that one presses, it sends an SMS immediately when it's pressed and gives a call to that same person who is listed as a responsible person for the person who's carrying the bag. Both bags have got the same features, but I'll focus on the backpack because it's easily visible. So when one presses that button, it will send an SMS to a person. So you don't need to have data on to be able to receive the alerts. The bags also have, can go to the feature slide. The bags have a two-way speaker. So when one presses that same button, when it gives a call, one is able to speak to the person who is listed as a respondent. All these features give an alert. For geofence, for example, an example will set a radius of so many meters or kilometers. So as soon as the child goes beyond that radius, it gives an alert immediately. There's a route planner for a parent who is not going to be going with their children. Maybe they're taking public transport or anything. So the route is so that when they deviate from that route, the parent receives an alert immediately. The speed sensor helps, especially if you know your child's supposed to be walking to school or wherever they will be going. As soon as the speed picks up, the parent receives an alert, then you know that they're in trouble and you check those. It means they are in a car and they are not supposed to be in a car. You receive an alert when the person who's carrying the bags goes into dangerous zones. There's a fall alert as well. The fall alert helps especially with sickly people and the elderly. There has been situations whereby an elderly person has been discovered very late, after a couple of hours. They have fallen and there is not much help that can be received. And in this instance, when they fall, there is an alert that is received immediately, and then help will be there for them immediately. The phone call, the bags have got SIM cards. So you can also call the bag. If you cannot find your bag, you can call the bag. Then the child doesn't have to carry a cell phone, which also puts them in a dangerous situation. So you can call your child through the bag, and another person won't even be able to detect whether they are speaking to a person or not through that cell phone call that one can make. There's an on and off alert as soon as the bag is off, receive an alert. When the SIM card is changed, there's an alert that gets received. All these features are monitored through an app that comes when one buys the product. The app is downloaded like your normal Play Store or iStore downloads. Use an email address to set it up, put an email address on, sign in as normal. Then the next step would be to put in an MEI number. Each device comes with an MEI number. So that MEI number is how you will be able to know which device and to track that device. And then the third step is to give the device a name. You can have as many children or people listed in one device as possible. So a person, if you've got 10 people or 20 people that one is responsible for, you don't have to have a different device, a different app for each person. You name each MEI, each person according to the MEI number. So you'll be able to know who is traveling where at a certain point in time through one device. And also each device can have about up to 5 people who are listed as respondents. So for example, if at home you've got a company that alert company, you can list that company as an emergency number. Your medical aid response number as an emergency number. So one can list up to 5 numbers, person per device. The overview of the competition. Okay, here, these are graphic illustrations whereby it shows easily how the features work. For example, the mother or whoever is responsible for the child, they will set the Gabriel app before the child goes to school or go anywhere they'll be going. So you can see that child there, Palisa, can see that there is a predator behind her. Without her having to take out the phone, she speaks silently to the bag, to the parent through the bag, and then the parent could easily see where Palisa is and that she is in danger, and then she came to her rescue. The next feature shows another comic illustration whereby Palisa is in a different situation. She's fallen, and through the fall alert, the mother managed to receive an alert immediately, and then she could call an ambulance or emergency services to come to Palisa's rescue. In the next comic strip, Palisa is followed by this predator, and then again, the parent could see immediately that she is now in a car. The speed raised up because she was supposed to be walking, the speed raised up, and the on-time tracking gave her an alert that she's in danger, and then she managed to see exactly where she is because the app updates every time. The device updates every 3 seconds, so you can always see the child where the child is. Then the next one is the geofencing. So you can see from the geofence that Palisa has been given a radius of 200 meters, for example. So when she exceeds that radius, the parent sees immediately that she's no longer where she's supposed to be. These are just illustrations to make it easy to promote the product, to make it visible, because when one speaks about the product and you cannot see what exactly happens, it's sometimes it's not as clear. The overview of the competition, the industry that we operating in is a highly competitive industry and is characterized by the presence of major players and several small players. In South Africa, the use of tracking devices has been mostly limited to vehicles and animal tracking. However, our major competitor in this instance is Vodacom. They've got a VBag, which costs $7.99 and a monthly subscription of 29 rands. And they've also introduced a GPS curve, which costs $7.49 and with a monthly subscription of 39 rands. Take a Lot has got anti-theft bags that go from 169 to plus minus 1,500 rands. Both Vodacom and Take a Lot's product don't offer as many as the features that the Gabriel bag offers, and we are still offering our product at a much lower price. We've segmented our customers into 3: individual households, government, and the private sector. Individual household is parents of 0 to 14 years old children, caregivers who look after people who are the elderly and mental, but is not limited to those. The government is the Department of Education, the Department of Social Development, and government-funded agencies. The Department of Social Development sponsor disadvantaged areas, and also they have places where they look after or they sponsor, and places where sickly are being taken care of. The private sector, we're looking into events planning companies, coordinating companies and management companies, companies who are working on promotional gifts, branding and marketing companies. Our marketing strategy, we will be conducting media campaigns that will be doing through TV and radio interviews. Also, we'll be creating, embarking on an awareness creation campaign whereby we'll be introducing the product and all the benefits of having the Gabriel bags as a savior to these unfortunate situations that most people find themselves in. We'll be sponsoring schools in disadvantaged areas and also schools that are off the mainstream, and also will be sponsoring institutions like Missing Children South Africa, who are always on track in terms of who's missing and what those they get the reports almost every day. We'll be conducting online marketing. We'll be engaging in all the social media platforms, including using the services of influencers. We'll be participating in exhibitions. We'll be using the sales agents as our foot soldiers because they are accessible everywhere and they can be anywhere where we cannot be physically. We'll be doing chamber subscription. This is important for us as a business because the chamber has got a database of corporates that would like to be part of, and also they have events, networking events that will really help us market and profile our products. Lastly, I would like to thank TIA for the opportunity and for the help that they've always provided throughout this journey. It's not been an easy journey, but TIA has always been there for us. And also I'd like to compliment them for our favorite stipend that they offered for the first 12 months. And once more, my contact details are on screen, cell phone number and the email address. And TIA has got a marketplace where you can view our products. The products are working, they are in a pre-commercialization stage. There are just a few things that we need to work on so the product can go onto the market fully. Just to give a brief example, we need to brand the app. There is an existing app that we have borrowed, but we need to have an app that is branded as Tracker Gabriel so as to control the product and to control the market. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ntombi. I think really it's a product that will shine and it will allow us all to shine, as South African citizens. I really, on behalf of TIA and behalf of Dr. Anita and all our partners, we really do sympathize with you on your loss of your sister, and we hope if you need anything, we're here for you to support you going forward. I would now like to hand over.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ntombi. We really do sympathize with you. And taking time out to actually present today. I'm sure it's been a difficult situation, but TIA is always here to support you going forward. I would like to call upon Brett Nadesan, who is the chairman of the SMME Forum in Durban Chamber of Commerce. Brett, over to you to give some industry feedback. You can just unmute your mic. Thank you, Brett.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me clearly?
Perfectly fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, fantastic. So, Ntombi Zodwa, I just want to say, firstly, condolences on the loss of your sister. I think you being available to do this presentation is a testament to the strength of a woman and testament to a woman's strength and resilience. Secondly, I want to say that was a fantastic presentation. I really did enjoy it. I think your product is absolutely fantastic. I think it's a very necessary and needed product. When you were going through those statistics, looking at a child that goes missing every 5 hours, which is absolutely it's just terrifying. I'm not a parent myself, but I can only imagine for a parent, that's just a terrifying thought. And I just did a quick number crunch that actually works out to that 23% of kids that go missing. That's over 400 kids every year that go missing that are never found. And I think every parent would argue that even one child going missing and never found is way too much. So 400 is an excessively high number. And I think your product is certainly positioned to play a very meaningful role in reducing those figures. So again, hats off to you for a wonderful product. Whilst you were going through that, I was making some notes. I'm very happy that you put down your price points. I thought your customer segmentation was very, very well thought out. So I'm going to just speak through a couple of points that I've made. And please forgive me if I'm kind of all over the place, but I was very impressed with your presentation, and I'm also mindful of time, so I'm going to try not to take too long. I think that your product is absolutely fantastic. One of the points of clarity that I would like to seek from you, in your presentation, a lot of the images reference the mother going and fetching the child. I imagine that was simply just for the purposes of your presentation, and your system does incorporate a communication with the likes of SAPs, and over and beyond above SAPs. I think as partners, I think it would be very meaningful for you to partner with security agencies, depending on the area that you are rolling out your product. I would imagine a company that comes to mind is a company like Blue Security. I think they are nationwide, but you'd find that in various regions there probably is there may be a different security company that's got a stronger market dominance in various regions. So over and above SAPs, I think it would be very meaningful for you to partner with security companies so that in the event of a child going missing, you can have an armed and professionally trained security person go and retrieve a child who's gone missing, because unfortunately people who kidnap children are often, I mean, we can only imagine the types of criminals that these people are. The second point of clarity that I'd like to mention is I noted your price points of 399 Rand for the bags. Now, I think that's a very, very competitive price point. I think just a normal tote bag or tog bag or any kind of school bag for a kid to make use of, I would imagine it's already in that region of 300-400 Rand, probably even more. Probably even more than that, depending on if you're buying them like a branded sports a carry bag. However, I would like to put it to you that perhaps your price point is a bit too low. And I say that for the purpose of, effectively your company is a technology company. And I think as your technology scales, the maintenance of that technology, the hands on deck that you're going to have on board. I mean, imagine when I don't know what your sales currently look like, but imagine when you've got 10 people using the bag, then you've got 100 people using the bag, then you've got 1,000 kids that are using this bag and 100,000 kids, you know, you're eventually going to have to find yourself in a call center type environment where you've got multiple agents like the likes of Tracker who can answer a call or let a parent know exactly where the child is. I know you did mention there's an app, but perhaps maybe some people, you know, in a state of panic, a mother might not resort to the app. They might want to pick up the phone and phone someone, or you may want to have that as a second point of communication. Also, the cost of scaling your technology. Please be mindful of that. There's a 400 Rand gap between the price point of your product and Vodacom's product. And if Vodacom's product is priced at 799 Rand and it does not incorporate all of the features that yours does, please give consideration to the fact that they may be aware of you know, the costs associated with their solution scaling, and I'd like to encourage you to give consideration to that. If you have already done that and your price point can still remain at 399 Rand, then I think you've done an absolutely magnificent job, and I can't imagine you won't see tremendous sales at a price point of 399 Rand. Again, coming to your customer segments, I thought that was very well thought out. And part of your marketing strategy is going to be awareness. As part of that awareness, I'd like you to consider bringing on board, like you would bring on the likes of SAPs and security companies as partners, you could also bring on the likes of teachers and educators within the education system as your advocates who could also speak to parents about this product. I say this because my wife is an educator, and just this year, I can tell you with certainty she's had at least 2 instances where parents has phoned her saying that their child has not arrived home at the time when they should arrive home. And then my wife, being the teacher, she gets concerned, and she herself gets quite caught up and involved in this search for these children. Thankfully, in both those occasions, the child was found. But I think if you could make teachers aware of this product, they would certainly speak to parents very organically, without the use of, maybe you could use this as an initial stage before you engage sales agents, because I think teachers themselves, if you could take that problem away from them, of having parents phone them and say that a child is missing, I think that alone is a good enough reason for teachers to speak to parents about your product. And again, I think your product is absolutely fantastic. I think you are playing in an area where, like companies like Tracker, you know, people who steal cars think of ways to defeat and beat the Tracker system. So I think, you know, you perhaps are going to have to put yourself in a situation, if you have not already done this, I imagine you have, but just as a thought, you may have to put yourself in the seat of somebody who's looking to abduct a child, and unfortunately you'd have to try and think the way this person thinks, and try and think, how would somebody like that try and defeat your system? Unfortunately, as your brand awareness grows and product awareness grows, and parents become knowledgeable of this product and start purchasing it, unfortunately, the bad elements of that would also become aware of your product. They would also be able to understand your product, and they would also start looking for mechanisms, you know, to bypass the security solutions that you've provided. I would like to ask, I don't know how this would work if somebody kidnaps a child but leaves the bag and takes the child. Perhaps you've thought about that and you already have a solution, but that was just one thought that came to mind for me. I'm super excited that you've already got the compliance out the way, and that's fantastic. Yeah, so I think that's just from me. So again, you know, Ntombi Zodwa, I just want to congratulate you. I think that was a fantastic job on a fantastic product. I also want to encourage you, you know, when you go to market and you go to partners, you may face people who would say, this is not going to work, this, that, and the other, and have all these reasons why something like this wouldn't work. You know, like Patrick said in the beginning, open yourself to that criticism from the market, take it on board, but leverage that to develop and strengthen your product's value proposition. And please, as a small business owner, you know, in this grassroots innovation program, it's a wonderful program that you've been given, and an opportunity to be part of this program. I think it's absolutely amazing the job that T has done. You know, just be mindful of the fact that there are large global organizations out there that develop products, whether it be electronics or whatever it may be. Be mindful of the fact that these are companies that build these products, and you and I would go and buy these products, and ever so often we would take it back because we're unhappy with the product. So please don't take on board any criticism you get from the marketplace. Use it, absorb it, and just use it to leverage and grow your products. I think your product's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for the opportunity, guys.
Thank you so much for that, Brett, for sharing your insights, and well done again, Ntombi Zodwa. I think I would now like to move on. I know we have a bit of a time constraint, so I'm going to move over to our third innovator, who is Ponso Losa from Johannesburg, where she will tell us more about her innovation known as Yogi Sorghum Juice. So, Ponso, without any waiting, over to you.
1 minute, please.
Okay, I can hear you now, and I can see your slide is coming on.
Okay.
This one.
This one.
This one. And all the best.
Thank you.
Just click there again.
Yeah.
Here, this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then you can talk.
That's perfect. So,
Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
yes, perfectly clear.
Okay, good day, everybody. My name is Ponso Losa, 27 years of age. I am the oldest of 2 siblings, born and bred in a small township way south of Johannesburg. So when I was 5 years old, I was diagnosed with rheumatic heart fever, which plays a major role behind the inspiration of this product. The problem I've come to realize is that generally health-conscious people, as well as diabetic patients, do not have a healthy alternative to drinking yogurt, which provides them with all the necessary nutrients with minimal sugar content. So without the artificial sweetness, without the artificial colorants, without the artificial preservatives. According to the International Diabetes Federation, 3.5 million South Africans are diagnosed with diabetes. And in Africa alone, 10.5% of the population has been diagnosed. According to lifescience.com, 69% of the female population is considered obese or overweight, and 39% of the male population is considered the same. The stats increase year after year, which shows that overweight, overall unhealthy people keep increasing. 17% of children under the age of 9 are considered obese or overweight. I would know, I was one of them. So what's the solution? The solution is an all-natural sorghum-based drink, right? So it has, because it is all natural, it has no sugars, no artificial sugars, no artificial preservatives, and no artificial colorants. athletes as well as bodybuilders require carbohydrates in order to acquire energy. So because this drink is sorghum-based, sorghum in itself is considered healthy because it contains 80% carbohydrates. And again, because this drink is sorghum-based, sorghum helps regulate blood sugar levels, which keeps them balanced. This then makes it easier for a person to gain weight or to lose weight as they desire. Our direct competition is Lifeway Kefir. But the thing about this kefir is that it is an international product, so it is not easily accessible, nor is it affordable. A 950 ml of kefir easily sells for 440 rands. Our indirect competition, on the other hand, has all those things that we do not want. So it has your fats, it has your cholesterol, it has your artificial colorants, artificial sugars, and artificial preservatives. Our 300 ml of Brain Rush will go for 35 rand, while our 500 ml goes for 40 rand. The pricing is based on the target market as well as the value, which are the health benefits of the product. So Brain Rush will be sold at probiotic health shops, your pharmacies, so your Discams, your Clicks, your organic markets in Bryanston, in Johannesburg, you name it, you'll find it. We would like to partner with Mageo for the production of Brain Rush. We plan on sourcing production, packaging, as well as the distribution of the Brain Rush. And in this regard, would require assistance in identifying the right party. In the last 2 years, with the assistance of the Technology Innovation Agency, TMC Vets, and GIP, have taken this project from idea stage to almost complete prototype through CPUT. With all of those steps completed, the next steps in getting this product commercial ready is the certification of the Brain Rush, the IP management of the Brain Rush, as well as the marketing of the Brain Rush. So all of this will cost a rough estimate of 550,000, depending on the service providers used. Thank you very much, and I now welcome any remarks.
Thank you so much for that, Bonso. I can't wait to taste your yogi.
Yes, we are still busy with the marketing, but I'm not married to Brain Rush as well, so the name can still change. That's okay.
Thank you so much. Now, I'd really like to hand over to the CEO of AWIF, known as the African Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum. Over to you, Irene.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. And Poncho, I must extend my congratulations, first of all, okay? You have absolutely have a great product idea, okay? And your presentation, your pitch presentation is also very good, okay? You're a young entrepreneur, something that delights me, okay? A young female entrepreneur, something that delights me even more, being who we are, Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum, driving female entrepreneurship. So, like I said, I like your presentation. I like your product, to start with. You are in the space where we need to be in food and nutrition, agribusiness. You see, with COVID, for example, the agribusiness sector, the food sector was practically, the sector, one of the most sectors, aside technology, that just kept going, okay? Because COVID or not, people have to eat. But the thing here is the innovativeness of your idea, of your product, is very, very innovative. And I like the fact that you did a lot of research. So the problem is a problem that we all know, okay? It's very real. It's almost an epidemic, okay? That of diabetes caused with obesity. It's not only in women, in men, even in kids, in children, okay? And tying that also to a personal experience, you know, that kind of inspires, will motivate you to drive this product forward. So I like the fact that you did your research well and you came up with some stats, okay? It is very important, and that the market is huge. You know, the market for a product like this, you can't go wrong because the problem is there, and with an innovative solution like this, you can do it. I see that you are still in that prototype, you know, stage. So the traction is yet to come, but it will come. So you are now about to go. Are you ready to go to market? Are you ready with the minimum viable product, or, you know, is it ready to commercialize? Okay, you need your certification. You need, you know, you are safeguard the IP, okay, and a marketing strategy. Yeah, your marketing strategy is also brilliant. You know, trying to target, you know, the channels, the right channels to have this product, clicks, this game, and also the idea of, you know, partnering with somebody. It's always, or sometimes when you can do that, it's a quicker way to go to market, you know, partnering with, you know, somebody or people or somebody who is already there that can help you in. You've researched also the competition, okay? And I know because I'm a healthy food freak. So I'm always navigating in these healthy shops and all that. And I know that these products are quite pricey, okay? So you are direct competitor, you see kefir, you see what it costs. So if you can come in at that price range and you are able to have these products distributed for, you know, sold for you by clicks and Discam, okay, that would be fantastic. But you have to know that to get on the shelves of these, you know, stores, it's not easy. It's also very competitive. A lot of things where we have to be, you know, proven before you can get on get a space on their shelf. The quality, the safety, okay, and the packaging, everything that goes with a good product. But I like so I like everything. The presentation the style of presentation is very good. You touched on the pricing, you touched on your marketing strategy, okay. You touched also on the competition, okay. The business model, okay, is also good. You didn't talk much on that, you know, but I think it's a great business idea. It's innovative, and it's also scalable. Okay, aside these other channels, okay, there may be other ways of you know, getting it to market that can be considered. One of the things that I can advise is to get on our network. Okay, we have an agribusiness program. We have concluded the program, but it's now a network, okay, of women in agribusiness across Africa. It's always good to be in the network, you know, to get ideas, learn from other people in your sector, see what they are doing, and also explore potential, you know, intra-Africa partnerships, you know, for things that you want to do. Okay, so you have a great product, a great idea, you know, everything mapped out, you know, well, and you are lucky to be on this TIA platform. TIA is fantastic when it comes to supporting you know, innovation. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I would like to say. I don't know if I have any other thing that I noted while you were talking. Okay, yeah, okay, good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pansha, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene, for your insights. Irene is the CEO of AWEF, and we really appreciate your assistance, Irene, over the years. We're not taking a break, so I would like to welcome the fourth innovator onto their presentation. It's Anna-Marie Bremner. Anna-Marie is from Pretoria. For most of her career, Anna-Marie was an agricultural journalist. She's now a full-time aquaponics farmer and developer of practical aquaponics systems. She will present her innovation, the Kleinskier Gravel Barrel Auto Symphon System. Over to you, Anna-Marie.
This is just a minute there.
Okay.
This is the presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Very good to be here. Very privileged to be able to present our Kleinskier Aquaponics Gravel Barrel Auto Siphon solution as part of our bigger solution to a bigger problem. Just a little side remark here. I'm not just privileged to be a woman innovator. I also enjoyed it very much this morning when Sanisha introduced us as young female innovators. Since I'm very young in this career, I still have a long way to go. We all know that there is overpopulation. More people means that more food is needed. And I'm going to read this quote from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. They say farmers are not only our food producers, they are also guardians of our natural resources, soils, water, biodiversity, and seeds. They are, in addition, innovators. Since the beginning of agriculture, farmers have had to change, adapt, and create new ways of working the land, of dealing with difficult terrains, and of enduring extreme climates and weather phenomena. Their survival and livelihoods depended on it, so they found ways to make it work. So who better to innovate farming solutions than farmers themselves? Traditional methods are not adequate anymore. If you can look at the pictures there, you see some of the problems that traditional farmers are facing. We are all aware of climate change. There's a lot of studies being done about specifically how climate change would affect farming in Africa. Continuing droughts. There are areas in South Africa that haven't seen decent rain in about 9 years. There's no way people can continue farming there in traditional ways. We've all seen the extreme weather conditions. They actually promised us some snow here in Pretoria for the past weekend. Well, it didn't snow, but it was suddenly quite cold. So how to protect your crops in these circumstances? It's also obvious that more irrigation is needed because people need to produce more food on the same sizes of land that they have. More irrigation means more water. Also, more productive land is needed to be able to plant more food for the more people. And then we've all seen that the farms are getting bigger. They are getting into huge industrial corporations, larger equipment continuously being developed and used, and it also means more expensive. It's quite clear that alternative methods are needed. And this is the method that I believe in, and that's called aquaponics. It's an innovative solution to solve a lot of the food production problems. Let's just quickly go through the advantages. No water goes to waste in a true recirculating aquaponics system. The same water stays in the system, in our system at home. We've been using the same water now for 6 years without even having to clean out the system. It's an intensive farming method, so there's more production using less land. Also, you can control some of your risks by controlling the environment, by putting your system in a net house or in a tunnel, especially in a plastic tunnel in colder areas. You can build the systems on non-arable land, so we're not taking any land away from the grain farmers. We can put our systems in deserts, we can put it in cities. You can also build the systems close to where the people are. We all know the story about teach them to fish, don't give them a fish. So let's take the system to the people and not the food. In the end, there's less transport costs and less fossil fuel using. Can provide work to local people wherever the systems are. Then, of course, because you're not just dealing with vegetables, you also produce fish. It's an extra source of income and, of course, of healthy proteins. Vegetables can be harvested daily in a seamless production process. You put in your lettuce on the one side of the system and you harvest it 28 days later on the other side of the system. It's a continuous process. You can also grow a huge variety of vegetables at the same time in an aquaponic system. And then, of course, we've heard a lot this morning about healthy food, food that's completely natural, no harmful chemicals used. But then I think specifically for South Africa, a very important point is you use 95% less water to grow the same food than what you would have used in open field production. I recently did some research. They say you use up to 200 liters of water to produce 1 kilogram of tomatoes in open land. In our Kleinskeer aquaponic system, we use 1 liter to produce 1 kilogram. Let's just take a little visual view here on how much water you would actually use to produce a little bag. And normally there's only about 6 tomatoes in 1 kilogram of tomatoes. So there you see 8 of the normal 25 liter buckets that you can get would be needed to produce that. In a Kleinskeer recirculating aquaponic system, you only use 1 liter of water to produce 1 kilogram of tomatoes. But now my story, why we believe the Kleinskeer aquaponic solution is the best solution for Africa. And there you see some photographs of me learning to drive a tractor, because we did everything ourselves, my husband and I, for the development of our first system. And then as we progressed, there's been a lot of development work, but it's the gravel barrel that we are going to talk about. You can also see some of the women that we've been working with, women working in our system, women working in other systems that we've built for them. So aquaponics systems may be a solution, but there are problems with aquaponics systems. They have mostly been developed in other countries, and their needs are not specifically the same as in Africa. I have to give credit here to Dr. James Rakosi of the University of the Virgin Islands in Hawaii. He did about 20 years of research to develop a commercial aquaponics system, and he basically set the standard for commercial aquaponics. It's a lovely system, it works, and it's been built in many parts of the world. But there are a few drawbacks. In the first place, it was designed for academical purposes at the university. There they have a lot of students, they have time, and they don't need to be paid to walk up and down those long aisles and tend to the plants. He doesn't have a gravel system incorporated into his system, but he has filters, net filters that has to be cleaned a few times every day. So if your labor is for free, then it's easy to do. But once you have to start paying for labor and for time, then it's something difficult. Also, his system works very well for leafy crops, but it does not make provision for fruiting crops such as tomatoes, brinjals, peppers, and cucumbers. A solution for planting those fruiting crops came up. One of the innovators there taking the lead is Murray Hallam from Australia. And anybody who watches aquaponic videos on YouTube will know Murray Hallam. He developed the CHOP and the CHOP2 systems. CHOP stands for Constant Height 1 Pump. And it's a very practical system. It's also known as the Indy 23, and you can actually buy it from the internet. In the picture on the top right, you can see Kleinskier is also there at the training that Mary Hallam gave when he was here a few years ago in Stellenbosch, his master class. The design works very well, but the gravel-filled media beds have some challenges. In the first place, the gravel is heavy and it's hard to move. Now, anyone who's tried to move a heap of gravel with a spade will know what I'm talking about. It is not easy. And even small gravel beds can contain tons of gravel. The structures have to be strong to carry the weight. And of course, when you start digging with your spade, you have to be sure that the structure can carry that digging. The media beds also have to be cleaned out regularly, which means it's back-breaking work. Other challenges that you have with big media beds, they have corners, and what happens in corners is that biological materials start building up, especially where the water runs into the media beds. You'll find that there's a buildup of material, and in the end the water does not go through the stones, but it runs over the stones, and that's when you start getting up a buildup of anaerobic bacteria, and that is when your problems in your system start, because you have your aerobic bacteria that's working very hard to convert your fish waste into the nitrates that your plants need. But once you start getting anaerobic bacteria, the reverse process happens. And in the end, you will end up with a toxic system and a stinking mess. Farmers also often experience problems with the bell siphons, which are traditionally built into the media beds, because the roots clog up the system, and then they have to be standing up perfectly upright. They have to be completely level to work properly. There is a single plant alternative used in hydroponics called the Dutch bucket or the Beto bucket system. It solves some of the problems of the big media beds, but not all. In aquaponics, you're not working in a sterile environment. Your water is alive. And any stagnant areas, like the bottom of the bucket that you can see there on the right, will provide the ideal spots for anaerobic bacteria to grow. And in the end, you will sit with the same problems as in your big media beds. So I wanted the solution, and I wanted the solution to be practical for me as a woman. I want to be able to handle the gravel. I want a bucket that's practical, that I can handle, but is also strong, that's resistant, that's UV resistant. And I want to plant decent plants in it, not just tiny little plants. I want to plant a proper tomato that can have a vine type of plant that I can harvest my tomatoes over 4 months. So we've designed a 35-liter container, so you can plant your big tomatoes in it, yet it is small enough to be handled by one person. And the beauty of the design, as you can see there on the right-hand side, is that all the water can drain out through the opening there. So there's no stagnant areas, no places where water remains behind that anaerobic bacteria can start building up. The buckets are quite strong when you pick them up. They're UV protected, they're virtually unbreakable. But of course, you can't just have the bucket on its own. It has to be part of a system. And this bucket just clicks into our unique Kleinskier auto siphon system, which we also developed with the kind assistance of the TIA. Not only financial assistance, but they also put us in contact with some interesting people in the industry. And I think we've got a very good, robust design. The auto siphon, actually siphons can siphon out up to 12 buckets at a time. So you don't need an auto siphon in every bucket, which obviously makes it a lot cheaper. It's not inside the barrel, which also means you don't have problems with the roots. It has no moving parts, so I have yet to see one to break. It just doesn't break. And now we have the magic. Of course, once you have the bucket or the barrel, the gravel barrel, it can unlock the key to the whole aquaponics system to make it practical and also affordable for use in Africa. Now we can enable big and small farmers to grow fruiting crops more efficiently. We can build systems that's ideal for community projects and for commercial farms. The buckets are easy to handle by anyone, also women, children, and older people. They fit into one another, as you can see there on the top right, so it's easy to transport and to set up. It provides a simple but sound technological solution. It's scalable, so you can start with one row of gravel barrels and you can eventually expand it to include many rows of gravel barrels. And also the beauty is it does not just have to be used in aquaponic systems, it's also suitable for hydroponic systems. So I think it's a moneymaker, it's marketable locally and internationally. And then if you look closely there in the picture on the right, you can see that it is a KSBA branded mold that we are using. So let's talk about the products that we actually have, because it's time now to commercialize our proven concept. We have been running the gravel barrels in quite a number of family systems. I'll show you some pictures just now. And we can say that it works very well. So we can have a set of gravel barrels with the auto siphons and also a pipe running along the top for the water to run in, which can be incorporated into existing systems, including hydroponic systems. And then, of course, we also offer the Kleinskier aquaponic system, which incorporates the gravel barrels. And just for those who don't know the meaning of the word Kleinskier, it means little barn, and it's the name of our house. And that was where we sat around the kitchen table working on the ideas to solve the problems. There you can see the design and some pictures of our family system. Now, if you note the KSBA 24, that 24 is actually the quantity of barrels in the system. So we started naming our system after the quantity of barrels in the system. It also indicates the size then. You can see there the family system will provide enough food for about 6 to 8 people. It fits in a size of 6 meters by 5 meters, and you're talking about a cost of about 50,000. There are no similar products on the market, but if you look at other aquaponic systems, you easily get to 60, 70,000, and they don't even have a quarter of the production that we would have. Then from the family system, we move on to what we call our KSBA 96 Light Community System. That is ideal for NGO projects, community projects, for schools, for hostels. We are currently talking to some agricultural schools to also establish it there. That fits in a size of 18 by 8 meters. And if you quickly look at the production there, you're talking about a harvest of about 90 kilograms of fish per month. So you're already starting to get to production size where you can actually sell your produce, and it will definitely pay for the system costs. The KSBA 150 community system, obviously also for community projects, villages, NGOs, bigger schools, hostels, everywhere we have to feed people. And we've designed this specific system to fit into your standard 30 meters by 10 meters tunnel, because people have approached us saying they have tunnels. What can they do inside the tunnels? So this has been designed to utilize every bit of space in the tunnel for full production. And if you can just compare this to the previous production, we're talking about 225 kilograms of fish per month that you can get out there. You have space for 3,600 leafy vegetables. And if you just plant tomatoes, you'll get a harvest of more than half a ton a month. And then we get to our commercial system. That's our full commercial system, in which we will have 4,000 barrels. So if you plant 4,000 tomato plants, you can expect a harvest of up to 16 tons a month. Then we're barking with the big dogs now. And of course, in our deep water culture section, you have space for about 50,000 plants, and you can harvest 4 tons of tilapia every month. So this is ideal for a commercial venture or as part of a larger commercial project. And we're currently talking and working with people trying to secure funding to set up these systems in areas where food is needed and water is scarce. It's also a job creation project. As you can see, you can give jobs to about 20 people just in the system. And if you add a pack house, of course, you can expand that. And that is my story. Our website is up and running. You're welcome to visit the website. We also have all the systems there. Welcome to send an email. And there's also my telephone number. And I would really like to thank TIA, not only for this opportunity, not only for the financial support, but we're also on the list to receive all the invitations to projects going on. And we certainly take part, and we hope to grow this solution for us all through Africa.
Thank you so much for that, Anna-Marie. I think definitely it subscribes to a number of the Sustainable Development Goals in terms of zero hunger, but also looking at no poverty. It targets the gender equality one, as well as climate change. So I think really is a great product, and we're looking forward to working with you. I'm now going to hand over to our industry partner that will really give us some feedback on your innovation. So I'd like to hand over to Bridget Evans, who's the director of the SAB Foundation. Over to you, Ms. Evans.
Thank you. Can you see me? I'm
yes.
close.
I can see you now.
But I'm in a hotel room in a Shawi doing site visits, so it's lovely to connect with all of you. Anna-Marie, such a great innovation, really. Seen a lot of aquaponic systems, and the cost is always the prohibitive piece. You know, it's just so cost intensive to set up. So I think I think it's really wonderful what you've done. I just have a question around energy use. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Just explain from an electricity point of view, an energy point of view, what it entails.
Of course, there are different sizes of systems with different energy users, but the system has been designed to work with nature as much as possible. So in the smaller systems, for instance, you have one water pump running to run the whole system. So the rest of the water movement is through gravitational flow. You've got one air blower. It's only in terms of the heating that we start getting into higher power use, but there also we're working on another solution, or actually we have incorporated that solution in our bigger systems by using geothermal energy. And also the systems that we have built for people, it's interesting to note that the community systems that we've built all run from making use of solar power. Because of the way that we've designed it to use so little power, it is quite possible to run it off solar. Obviously, for your bigger systems, you need more power, but the community system is quite easily run with a few panels and batteries. It's just important to note that you do need batteries because the system needs to run 24/7.
And I'm assuming that it's all, you do have tunnels, so it is housed inside.
Yes.
In a tunnel system.
Okay. It depends where we've built systems in Lesotho, for instance, where you need a different type of material and you have your system in plastic covering because of it snows there. In Namibia, we have mostly net houses because you really need the air to move through it. So it really depends on where you're building your system.
Okay. No, I think it's a fantastic solution, and I really like the ability in these kinds of systems to be able to change what you are growing very quickly. So I think, you know, once a community gets to a point where they're able to supply, you know, shops or surrounding areas and actually generate revenue, I think one of the challenges is that you see in sort of open land production is that everyone seems to grow the same thing, and the market is flooded at a point in time, and then vegetables are not available at other times. So I think that from that point of view, and also growing for an order, for example, so where you're able to, are you still there? Sorry, my internet is not great.
Yes, I'm still here. I was just muted there for a moment.
Yeah, no, I just think, you know, growing for orders is wonderful to have a system where you can chop and change what you're growing relatively quickly. So to have for a bigger system, it's really, food security is great. And I think in areas like the Northern Cape and areas which are very dry, and the land, and even in Cape Town where the soil is it's not productive soil, it's mostly sea sand. These kinds of systems are fantastic. But I think the interesting part to me is really where you're able to supply something, and you can grow to sell for an order, where you're able to get an offtake agreement before you've even planted the specific vegetable that you're growing, and you've got a guaranteed market. That's another area where I often see community projects failing is, yes, they grow to eat, but ultimately you want them to grow to generate some sort of revenue. And having an offtake agreement with, if it's a bigger system, is really helpful. So, yeah, I mean, I think it has so much potential, and certainly it's just such a unique and much more, it's the kind of farming that we should be looking at as a country with our water issues. And yeah, I mean, it's quite simple as well. It's not complex. Does a person need quite a lot of training to be able to work the system? And if so, do you provide that training?
Yes, we provide the training. And just as a point, I have two ladies working in my system who can't read or write. They had no formal education, and it's just routine. They must just make sure on Monday we put the seed in, on Tuesday we harvest, and it's a very basic routine. The bigger you get, the more commercial you get, a little bit more complex it gets, pruning the tomatoes, for instance. But we give all the training, we give practical training, we have theoretical training, and we also train people to train other people.
Okay. And I'm interested to know, from your point of view, what do you think the reservations are around this kind of farming?
I think the most important thing, like you mentioned in the beginning, is the financial input in the beginning, the infrastructure. People are afraid to take a chance to go big. But I see that the idea is getting more and more popular. It's not a strange thing anymore. 6 years ago, when I started talking about aquaponics, people didn't know what we were talking about. But now, how do they say, it's in the narrative? So people are getting more used to the idea, and I can see it gaining popularity.
Yeah, and I think certainly, in areas where climate is taking its toll, it's a fantastic alternative, and it's much more. I think you're much more resilient to any climate issues. In fact, does it make you? And I mean, I'm learning as you're speaking here, but does it make you 100% resilient against any kind of climate issues?
I don't think one can ever be 100% resilient, but one can certainly get close to it. I don't want to dictate to nature, but I'll try my best, and anything that's in my control, I can control, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think it's really fantastic. I wish you lots of success with it. And I think these kinds of models where it's a business in a box type concept, where you can put it in anywhere and get a system like this functioning fairly quickly, I think that the continent can benefit way more from these kinds of initiatives, where the hard work, the science, and all of that has already been done, and it's something that's completely reliable. It looks like it's very robust, so it doesn't break easily, because obviously from a servicing point of view, particularly the more rural you get, you need something that's very strong. Otherwise, you need to build in maintenance, and that's where it gets very expensive for a company like yours. If you're putting in these systems, maintaining them is often what sinks companies who are putting them into very rural areas. But yeah, I think it's really awesome, and congratulations. it's I'm glad you're on my radar now.
So am I.
Thank you so much, Ms. Evans. And you're so right. I mean, it's the future of farming, and with climate change's challenges, this is one of those products that definitely will address food security. So thank you, Anna-Marie, for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would now like to hand over to our final innovator for the day, the fifth innovator, who is Norma Shlambo Nazo, who is from the Eastern Cape. She's the founder, cosmetic formulation scientist at the Poi Science. Poi Science develops and formulates skincare products that treats burns, scars, and wounds. Over to you, Norma.
Thank you, Sanisha. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I'm excited to present For Our Science and For Our Science Hub. This has been a long-time dream of ours. We are very passionate about biopolymers, phytochemistry, and entrepreneurship. I started the journey with For Our Science in 2015, and in 2015 I was still working at Unilever in production and in quality, and I was only researching polymer interactions in detergents for my BTech project then, but I still wanted to go into polymers that actually assist the skin to heal. So I registered with the CTFA, which is the Toiletries Cosmetics Fragrances Association of South Africa. And then by God's grace, because I was so focused on skincare, I applied for a bursary at UCT to be able to do cosmetic formulation science so that I don't outsource the science. I understand it myself, so I could merge polymers and cosmetic science, and so that I can be able to make the products that I wanted to make at a low cost, and also to be able to understand both sciences myself. So on the left, this is a happy me, very hopeful me in 2017 at UCT. And on the right is me as an intern at Yardley at the research and new product development, where I learned a lot on how to run a factory, how to do a new product, how to develop it, the quality, the raw material that is needed so that I could be able to fulfill my dream. But really how we started and how we birthed For Our Science was my master's topic as well in 2018 to 2020. But I had to make a decision. If I really wanted to make skincare, and not just skincare that is, for vanity, but skincare that heals, that repairs, that also addresses the major need in South Africa, which is a lot of people in South Africa cannot afford medical aid. In South Africa, if we are honest, a lot of us, especially now under COVID, live under the poverty line. So you have to choose, do you want to buy food or do you want to take care of the skin? And also even the people that do have medical aid, because wound care and skin repair is so expensive, sometimes when their medical aid runs out and is depleted halfway through the year, they need to buy the stuff on their own, and that's out of pocket, is really expensive. So when I started For Science, I had just two dreams. One was to use my master's topic so that I can develop skincare that heals, but heals quick, and that is affordable to people with or without medical aid. And also for people not to be disappointed when they go to the clinic or at the hospital, because also our healthcare system is very underserviced, especially in the Eastern Cape where I'm from. The second dream was to actually transfer the biopolymer technology and the cosmetic science that I had learned at school into technology that I can simplify to train unemployed women so that they can be able to run and open their own businesses. Now, these two dreams are very big, and I needed to make a choice. Do I then carry on with the master's topic, or do I trust God, take a big leap of faith, and focus on the business. I decided to focus on the business and then to start a fundraising journey so that I can actually make the business to come alive and to do both of those things. So my fundraising journey started when I entered a WIF competition. Irene Ochem, the lady who was speaking before, is the founder of AWIF. I entered her competition. I won the South African prize. The South African prize then gave me entry into the SADC prize. So by God's grace and through hard work, I also won the SADC student category, and I got a prize to go to Slash in Finland, and where I got a lot of business contacts that are still helping me now. And also my startup was in the top 20 global social innovation startups in Finland. So I got to spend 2 weeks there and learn really how to move your business from first world thinking to third world thinking, which I'm still applying now. And I have, funny enough, a picture with the previous speaker, Bridget. This was at the SA Innovation Summit where I won a prize for social innovation of 70,000. That 70,000 was a lifeline to our business because then I was able to buy a whole lot of raw material and to be able to really make products that actually count. Then in 2019, I also was the first prize winner at the GIPS Festival of Ideas. Again, the SAB Foundation awarded me 25,000. And then this year, I have been awarded $10,000 in Amazon Web Credits so that I can build the platform so that I can be able to service customers, train people, do R&D for other people as well. This prize I got through the Africa Arena. But my biggest funder has been myself, and it has also been Tia. So I also decided to fundraise myself because your customers at the end of the day need to be your biggest funder. So what we then started doing was we started doing research and new product development for other SMMEs. So the pictures that you see here is a collage of samples, batches, and products that we have managed to do for other brands. We sign non-disclosure agreements with them, and then we develop products for them, and this is what we have been able to do. But by God's grace, and this has been a big step and a big leap for our business, we have been funded by the Technology Innovation Journey. I've labeled this slide as the journey with the Innovation Agency because it really has been a journey. As a scientist and as an entrepreneur, sometimes you cannot afford to go to where your customers would be. So the pictures on the left-hand side represent my first conference at BioAfrica in Durban, where on the top 2 pictures is a lady, a journalist from the Newsroom Africa interviewing me, which led me to get a lot of business through this. And also on, again, the right slides, that's the previous minister, and also at the bottom is a lady from the SABC channel for the morning show who interviewed me. And I was able again to raise funds from the travel allowance, the Technology Innovation Agency. So it's been a journey with the Technology Innovation Agency. And now we start the path to healing. And I say healing with confidence because healing, number one, is a medical claim. You cannot say something is healing if you do not have the proof to actually back up what you're saying. So the Innovation Agency gave me a grant of 260,000. So what we did with that is we went big. We bought all the raw material that we actually needed, And we then got to actually make the biopolymers that were going to heal the skin. And our biopolymers are actually made from fish scales. The fish scales we turn into collagen, and hyaluronic acid that we make from the actual membrane. Now, collagen and hyaluronic acid are normally synonymous with anti-aging, but we are not about that life. We are about healing. Yes, we do make anti-aging for people, when they ask, but our main focus is on healing polymers and products. So another thing that we decided to do was to extract medicinal plants. Those medicinal plants we then blend with vitamins and the biopolymer complex that we make. Another thing that Tia was able to do for us was to get us through the door at Adams & Adams so we can get a patent lawyer so that we can be able to start the process. When then we got into that process, we then parallel to that process started making gels, films and creams that would then heal the scar. But the most exciting thing, I think it's exciting for me as a scientist, but also as a business owner, was to prove the proof of concept. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance for sensitive viewers, but I'm happy to share, the proof of concept, how we say our polymers heal, because they really do. So now this on the left is a sunburn that healed within 30 days. And these are the biopolymers that actually passed the test. So we were able to even test on human subjects. And this lady on the left, she had a severe fungal disease and a severe cirrhosis. Her skin was very itchy. It was scaling as well. And it had sort of like a dandruffy things coming out. But within 15 days, with her using our biopolymers, her skin now looks like it looks on the right-hand side. Now you notice that there are still dark marks that are left here. So this lady is going to come back again for a second round so that she can be able to go into the test for hyperpigmentation and dark spot removal, which we are starting in a few weeks. This gentleman burnt his thigh with boiling water, and the skin came completely off. And I had a nurse and a doctor to help me here to monitor this healing. So within 15 days, his skin had returned back to normal. You can see the melanin is starting to grow, and the thing is coming back. His skin is coming back to life within 15 days. This was our proudest achievement. So the other thing that we have now started doing, we are now currently testing loading biopolymers with Ayurvedic phytochemicals. Now, in layman's terms, Ayurvedic phytochemicals are chemicals that are from plants. Ayurvedic is, let's say, Asian or Indian. So we take Eastern medicine and we blend it with Western medicine, which is biopolymers. This we have started so that we can be able to address the #1 pandemic in South Africa. Yes, there's COVID, but our pandemic in South Africa is really abuse, and the abuse that we are dealing with is stemming also from drug and alcohol abuse. So we are currently testing the efficacy of alcohol and drug reducing biopolymers. So we give them in jelly teas, and we give them in carbonated teas, and we also give them in gummies. The gummies have a center that is all polymer, but it's loaded with the Ayurvedic phytochemicals. Now, we did not have a space where we could, gather all the people that are going to be in the trial with us. So we had to partner with House of Prayer Church of Nations in Cape Town in Montague Gardens. So they are providing us with the testing venue and the counseling services. Now, there are two types of counseling services that we give. One is the Christian one, but not everybody in South Africa is Christian. So we also have from social services, social workers that actually volunteer their service, because the one thing is that you can train, you can sort of like treat the problem in a scientific way, but you also have to go to the root cause of the problem, which is why the person got addicted in the first place. At the bottom is an SMS that we send to a community leader that works with social services, so that we can be able to get people that participate in the trial. Now, I'm not going to paint a pretty picture, I'll be very honest. The dropout rate for this current test is high. One, because when a person decides to stop alcohol or drug abuse, that's a big decision. And then secondly, they have shakes, they have cravings, they sweat, they can't sleep, their behavior is erratic, irritable, and angry. So we then wean them off with the polymers that we have developed. And then after weaning them off, we then also start a second trial, which is then detoxing the body, and that introduces also nerve tonics to the body so that they can be able to sleep, and it addresses the depressive mode, the irritability, and the anger. So this one is currently running this trial. So again, I would actually ask people that are in Cape Town, because right now we are only running the trial in Cape Town, that are in Cape Town, to, if they know families or anybody that is trying to stop using alcohol and drugs, to get in touch with us, and we are in Montague Gardens, and then we can include them in the trial. Another thing that we do at the hub is we do phytochemistry training. Our phytochemistry training is commencing its first cohort of 20 female farmers from the Eastern Cape. These farmers are planting herbs and medicinal plants, and are also wild harvesting medicinal plants in the Eastern Cape region. They are based in the Amatole district. This training is starting online on the hub on the 1st of September. The picture on the left is go-to-collar. The one in the middle is one of the ladies sorting the go-to-collar. This lady is actually from a pilot group from Port Elizabeth, and this is me wild harvesting aloe. So the point of this training is to train these ladies so that they can, number one, learn how to extract the plant chemicals. After extracting them, how to make compliant products that will be for medical use, for herbal use, and for cosmetic use. So I'm very excited to launch this. As I said before, one of my dreams is to turn chemistry into something that I can simplify, train another person who's never been to university to understand it enough so that they can be able to implement it into their own businesses and run and literally run their own business. Now, this is the cosmetics training. So as an entrepreneur, you can get funding, but you need to then be very frugal about the funding that you get. So I didn't have space. Like I said, for the drug and alcohol trial, I've partnered with House of Prayer in Montague Gardens in Cape Town. For the cosmetics training, for the past 3 years, I've partnered with the Mandela Bay Development Agency. So how I approached them is I actually asked, can I use your lab space? In exchange, I will design and conduct training programs for unemployed women. They agreed. So the pictures on the left with the lady smiling without any masks is us before COVID at a happier time. This was when we were actually piloting, training unemployed ladies how to make. And then the pictures on the right, these bottles that you see here, these are actually sanitizers, and they are making antibacterial creams. So the success of this training actually led to 15 ladies from the pilot group making 2,000 liters of sanitizers and antibacterial creams that were handed out by the Mandela Bay development agencies to primary schools in underprivileged areas in Kariga and Tabeja area. And this was in the height of our COVID-19 outbreak in the Eastern Cape. Now, the most exciting thing is that our website and virtual hub is actually launching on the 21st of September. So please remember our website. It is www.foascience.co.za. So all the products that we have developed first and then tested will be on sale. And the one nice thing about us is we really kept the promise of being affordable, because what we also do, and that other companies don't, when you go to a company website, you just buy and that's it. We have gone the extra mile in also making customer education something that is our norm, and also ethical and transparent cosmetic formulation and wound care formulation. On the website, we have an ingredient library so that a person can choose. Our prices start with 20 rands for even a film. And how we actually managed to do that was to get suppliers that are based all over the world. And again, that has been possible because of the support that we got from TIA. And also we have farmers that have offtake agreements with us. So the most exciting thing and the most innovative thing, and that makes me very excited, is a person can build their own skincare box. It's called a beauty box. So for example, the biopolymer cream is the same, but the ingredients that you put in are not the same. They actually suit your pocket. For example, if you want to add aloe, gotu kola, you can add it and then it can show. So in as much as you can choose your pizza toppings as a person, you can now be able to choose the cosmetic actives that will help your skin, and you can know exactly what you are putting in. And when you get the box, it will say formulated for example, Dr. Anita Ramsuran by Foascience, and we are compliant also in our cosmetic labeling, but this you will know is designed especially for you. Thank you very much to TIA and to the DSI and to the listeners out there. I hope 21 September you will be part of our launch. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, really your launch in September. I think you've really done focusing on young innovators. I'm excited to have in an excellent way to scale up on entrepreneurship in South Africa. So now then to you. I'd like to hand over to Yongama. He's the managing partner at Isimo West Venture Capital Partners, and I'm looking forward to his feedback to you. Thank you, Yongama, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sanisha. I appreciate that. Wow, I'm just blown away. I actually wrote in the chat that I need you and Anita to give me an introduction to this entrepreneur and the incredible work that they're doing around skincare. Again, much like the previous conversation with Mrs. Mandisa, this is an incredible area for, again, Black skin and Black people. And I would love to understand your test subjects and the test that you're doing. I am based down here in Cape Town, so if possible, I would really like to check out what you are doing. Your route to market would be something that I would also like you to look at a more robust way of going about it. Again, traditional retail, as hectic and cumbersome as it is, it's still the best way to get the mass population or access to the greater market. Then from there, you can look at refinement in terms of saying, these are the partners that we've come up with around our products to the market. But otherwise, this is incredible. I love the stories of the different individuals who've come through, and they've actually had the use of your product. And from the photos, it looks incredible. I actually asked my wife to come and even see, asking her what she thinks about this, because she knows more about skincare regimes than what I do. And she was equally blown away. So this is incredible stuff. And I really would like to see this product get to market as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Yongama. Your feedback has been truly inspirational. I think what a great way to wrap up this amazing event. Congratulations to all of our young female innovators. You are really true shining stars. We'll be following your progress with great interest. You are a true inspiration to the future female young innovators in South Africa watching today, not only in South Africa, but on the continent. We do believe that you will mentor them in the future going forward. I am sure we can expect more exciting, more innovative and sustainable projects in the future from this program. I'd like to thank everyone. To close up this event, I would like to invite our Acting Chief Director at the Innovation for Inclusive Development at the DSI to do the vote of thanks. Mr. Stepang Moseya, over to you.
Hi, thank you very much, Senisha. And thank you to everyone who participated. Very exciting event indeed. I think we are really excited as a department to have supported the Grassroots Innovation Program and also to see the impact and the benefits it has had on these young innovators. A very exciting product. And you guys are truly becoming the great innovators that we have, and the game changers. We really are appreciative and very excited about what you have achieved. So this also presents to us hope and the sign that not everything is doom and gloom. We have young, bright minds who have got very good products and innovations that can help us turn the situation in the country. And also it is a reminder again that if we do support our young innovators and our young entrepreneurs and even our SMMEs, we can really turn our economy in the country around. We are really looking forward to bringing more investment into the GIP program and also to look at equity that can come out of these partnerships and bring more venture capital partners into the work that you guys are currently doing. So we are really appreciative and excited about what you have achieved. I think all people, the innovators who have presented, Mandisa, and Dombizodwa, Ponto, Anne-Marie, and Nomahlubi, well done. And we are really proud of what you have achieved. And I would also like to take the opportunity just to appreciate the time taken by our industry partners who have given you feedback and very good insight and guidance on how you can move forward in your innovation journeys, but also just the guidance that has come from everyone. Indeed, I will take the opportunity as well to appreciate the leadership that we have in the GIP program. Anita, thank you very much, and the team at TIA who's leading the program. We really would like to say thank you. And also the leadership from our acting CEO, Mr. Patrick Krapi, as well as my DDG, Mr. Imran Patel at the DSI. he has always made certain that we've got funds and we've got resources allocated to the GIP program. So we really would like to say thank you for your leadership to everyone who attended and to everyone who has presented today. Thank you. And the meeting is closed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Mosai. And that concludes the program for TIA's GIP product launch today. Congratulations once again to all of you. We're looking forward to your sustainable projects being launched in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been both a privilege and an honor to be with you this morning. Stay safe, be innovative, and goodbye.